Good day, friends. It is me, HL Modtech, and I'm back with another absolute beginner Tinkercad tutorial. So let's get cracking. Friends, step one is to visit Tinkercad. I always choose sign in with Google. Once you get there, I want you to hit new and hit 3D design. So a teacher requested a bowl that can be 3D printed and decorated. I've got a strategy. Check this out. Let's start by naming our file. I'm going to put bowl and I'm going to put my initials. That way we can keep track of whose is whose. We are going to build our bowl with the half sphere. When you bring it out, if you press F to fit view, it zooms in real nice. And then we want to hold down shift with one hand, stretch a corner, and I'm going to tell you to type 50 and press enter. Let's do fit view again, and you'll see how large our bowl is going to be, about 5 centimeters. Now we want to flip it. Check it out. Right over here, we've got the awesome mirror command. Boom, that's going to be the outside of your bowl. Now we have to hollow it out. So what we're going to do is duplicate, or Control D. I'm going to move it a little bit so you can see it. We are going to quickly change that into a hole. And then I want the walls to be 3 millimeters thick. So we're going to subtract 6. So remember how this is 50? We're going to hold down shift, stretch it to Crazyville, and then type 44. So if you take 6 away from 50, that's how we've got that. We're going to take those two items and we're going to do a line. We want the pink one to be the master. We're going to choose center. I'll look at this from the corner because that usually makes a lot more sense. There's 1, 2, 3 choices and we want the center. And then let's look at it from the left and we want it to come all the way to the top. So now if we look at it from up here, you can see it's going to cut out our bowl, which is going to be awesome. Now we're going to do something super fancy, so I want you to grab that, and this time we're going to do Control D and set it aside. We're going to use that in a minute. Right now we're going to take these two and we're going to group them, and bam, you have got your bowl shape. Now we want it to be able to stand up, so we're going to bring out a cylinder. I'm going to tell you to take this cylinder, and once again we're going to do that shift squeeze, and the number I'm going to tell you to type is 15 and press enter. As far as the thickness, we want to change it to 1 and press enter. Let's take those two items and let's do a line. Once again, click on the bowl and choose middle and middle, and of course we want it at the bottom. And now you can see how that's going to make it easier to print. Alright friends, so we're going to use both these parts again. I would like you to click on this one and do Control D. Let's do Shift Nudge to move it to this side. We're also going to take the hole and do Control D and do Shift Nudge to move it over here. We're going to use this later to trim out parts on the inside. We're going to use this to trim parts on the outside. Now I want you to hold down Shift and stretch this to Crazyville, but then we need to type 51 in either of these two spots. This one will change to 25.5. That's fantastic. I'm going to change this one to a hole, and I'm going to do Control D. I'm going to move the new one over and make it a solid. Let's make it orange just for giggles. Hold down shift and we're going to stretch it, but this time we're going to type 65 and press enter. We need to align these two shapes. We are going to do select. We are going to do align. Let's make the hole the boss, and we want middle. Remember, that's easier to see from this side. You can see that's the middle of those three, the middle of these, and we want the tops to align. We need this cool piece to be grouped, and this is later going to trim this to a perfect size. But we do need to turn it into a hole quick. Now friends, we can take this piece, which is going to cut in here, and we're going to match it up with this awesome part as well. So do a line, click on this one, and we want to choose center, and I'll switch over here and look at it from a corner so it's easier to spot that other center button. And I want to make them match on the top. Friends, when you group that part, hopefully you can see that that is going to trim all the way around our bowl with one simple step. At this point, friends, we can delete that because it's going to be cut out here. Let's make sure these parts are aligned. You can see I nudged off a little bit, so I'm going to do a center and center. And now, friends, it is time to decorate. We are going to decorate with a polygon. When you bring this out, I want you to grab one of the bottom corners, stretch it, and we want to type 50 and press enter. If we do a line, you'll see this fits our shape really well. I'm going to look at the top so I can see it better. So there's my middle and my middle. This gives us flat places to add our cool decorations. The first decoration I'm going to do is a piece of text. So I'm going to click right on this flat place, and I'm going to bring out the text tool. I'm going to backspace, and I'm going to type my name. You can also put your name. Make sure you don't put my name. That would be silly. Just use the black handles to arrange it. You can use F to do fit view so you can see it better. You want to make sure that it fits on this side. So I make sure it's touching the bowl everywhere and just the way I want. And then we also want to make it thinner. Right now it's set at 10. I'm going to tell you a good number is 4 or 5. That way it's poking out. But you can see that will look pretty darn nifty. Let's switch to this side. So we do work plane and come over here. And let's just add a fun shape like the star. This star works well. This star is a little more tricky. I will warn you that. F to fit view, orbit a little bit, hold down shift and squish it, and just arrange whatever decorations you want, however you want them. Just make sure that they're poking out 4 or 5 when you're done. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. Once again, I'm going to do my 4 or 5. We just want to make sure they don't stick out past this piece. I'm going to go to this side. So once again, work plane, which is W. You can do the shortcut. This time I'm going to bring out a heart. We simply hold down shift and we squish it to put it however we want. I'm going to make it a little smaller, but I'm going to make it still stick out that 4 or 5. And then this time I'm going to do Control D because I feel like having 2 hearts. And you can arrange these and make them however you want. As a matter of fact, I want to teach you right now about all the special shapes. If you click down here and go to Shape Generators and choose All, there are a tremendous list of shapes that you can get by doing more shapes, and I've also got a sweet catalog where you can see all these all at once. Let me show you how to get to that catalog. Friends, this is my website, hlmodtech.com. There will be a link in the properties, and bam, right here is the Tinkercad Shape Generator Catalog. These are all the shapes you can search for. You've got all the names of them, all the amazing things. There is a second page. You can check these all out at your will. Just make sure after you get it, you do make a copy so that you can make it in your Google Drive and save it forever. Friends, as we look at this sweet list, there are so many to pick from. I'm going to play with this one called the End Lobe, and let me show you how to find it. It is this cool. Up here you can hit search, and friends, if we type the word lobe and press enter, it will show up in the list. Bam, there it is. So I'm going to bring this out. Oops, I've got it on the wrong work plane, so I'm going to delete that. I'm going to hit W for work plane, and I'm going to put my work plane over here. Now when I bring out my lobe, I can do that shift squish to make it the right size. Once again, I'm going to put a bunch of these because I think they're really cool. F for fit view, make sure it's poking out 5. And then I can nudge it down into place with my arrow keys, and then watch this trick. If I do Control D and I don't touch anything else, I can just nudge it with the arrows, and if I do Control D again and again, it duplicates with those same moves, which is pretty darn sweet. I'm going to do Shift Select on all of those, and I want them to be a little more accurate. So I'm going to go to 0.25, and boom, now they're in the middle of that side. I could even make more down below, so I'm going to select 3 of them, do Control D, and I'll show you why I chose 3. It's because I'm going to put them in the middle. How fun is that? Friends, let's do work plane again and come over here. You can search for a ton of shapes and have fun with that, but I'm going to go back to Scribble. Remember, it is on basic shapes. I'm going to put my chunk of Scribble right here. And friends, I'm going to draw a super fun smiley face. Eyeball, eyeball, smile. Give it a little derpy tongue. Tell it done. Orbit around so we can see our silly little face. Of course, we got to do the same trick where we do shift squeeze. And we can put it right on there and then just make sure that it's sticking out about 5 or 4, whichever you pick. Friends, I'm going to rotate around one more time. Let's do work plane on this side. Once again, you could search for an amazing shape, but I want to show you that we can also cut things out. So I'm going to do Scribble again, and this time I'm just going to make a fun squiggle design using the Draw Shape tool. So this thing is pretty neat. If you do a curve and come back around, you can make really fancy shapes by just curving and drawing. I don't know what it means. It's just fun, fancy, and I'm exploring. When I hit done, I can squish it to be the right size. Notice I grabbed the wrong part, so I'm just going to do undo. Now I've got the right part, and I'm going to shrink it like I said, always using those black handles. And then I'm going to do 2 of these, and I'm going to cut them out. So I'm going to make it a hole. I'm going to change it to my 5. I'm going to do Control D. Let's use those arrow keys to move it to the other side. And here is the sweet flip command. Boom. So now it's looking the other way. I'm going to do Shift Select to grab both of them. And I can nudge it to a spot that I think is pretty darn cool. That, my friends, is how you adjust this. If you ever want to change another thing, like right now I want to change my name, I'm going to go back to it. You do need to put it on the flat space, so that way it knows the right angle. If you do it in an angle, I'll show you this quickly. So if I've got the work plane here, watch what it does to my shape. It does it at a kitty wampus angle. So always make sure that you have the work plane on the same plane as the part you're adjusting. Alright everybody, let's delete this polygon. Alright friends, so we've got it built. It's time to cut it out. Before we do, click down here on your base and let's lock that. We don't want it to change. Now friends, we want to take the bowl cutter and we want to connect it to the bowl. I'm going to hold down Shift and select the bowl, not the other pieces. When we do a line, we make this part the boss. We want the center this way and we want the center this way. And we also want them to match the top. Double check that you got it like that. And then friends, we need to look at it from an angle, grab all those parts, hit the magic group button, and wait patiently to see the awesome bowl we just created. Oh my gosh, friends, there it is. Notice all those shapes follow the curve. Absolutely fantastic. Oops, we have got a part that cuts through though. Let me show you quickly how to fix that. So if we double click, it lets us edit. This piece is in our way, so we're going to hide it. We need to put the work plane on this flat piece right here. I've got my nudge set at 0.25. I'm going to change my nudge to 1, and we're just going to pull this out 1 click. I'm going to click on this one and pull it out 1 millimeter as well. When we click over here, it will recut, and bam, we have got a complete bowl. Oh my gosh, friends, that was a fun little project, and now you've got your own custom decorated 3D printable tiny bowl. Now friends, if you're in a classroom, this is where you'd have your teacher come over to check it. If you're getting ready to 3D print it, it works like this. I'm going to unlock this little shape because I want it to become part of the bowl now. I'll group those just so it stays with them. And then we can 3D print by choosing Export, and we're choosing STL. And then in my room, you'd put it in your downloads, make sure it has your name, and then hit save, and then you'll be able to share it with your teacher. Friends, I hope you learned a ton and had a blast while you're making this. Remember, if you want more lessons, you can always visit my website, hlmodtech.com. I've got a page dedicated to Tinkercad, tons of amazing lessons, and also the sweet built-in messenger tool. Friends, you can click that button, add your question, comment, or suggestion, and reach me almost instantly. I also want to highlight the Tinkercad Community Discord. It has almost 500 members, and it is a fantastic place to talk everything Tinkercad. As I wrap up, friends, I want to send a quick shout out to Miss May. Thank you so much for asking the question about making a Tinkercad bowl. Of course, friends, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Please also hit that share button so more people can learn about HL Modtech. Of course, if you got a question, comment, or suggestion, add it down below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button. And last but not least, hit that notification bell if you want to be the first to know when there's a brand new video from me, HL Modtech. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.